It is a lie, defunding, and you are hurting our law enforcement and you're hurting our democracy when you're willing to spread lies.
An emotional Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo on August 17th, flinging angry accusations as she attempted to defend her performance as a crime fighter. Fast forward exactly 6 days later, and the arrival of a critical ruling from Texas Comptroller Glen Hager, who, after reviewing the evidence, determined that yes, Hidalgo and her Democratic allies on Commissioner's Court had in fact defunded $3 million from Constables Ted Heap, Mark Herman, and clawing back their department's annual savings during an ongoing crime wave. Unless the constable funding issue is rectified, state law prohibits Hidalgo and commissioners from adopting a tax rate which adds additional revenue to county coffers. An unapologetic Hidalgo has doubled down, calling the defunding ruling political gamesmanship, further insisting law enforcement funding has actually risen during her tenure. In response to the ruling, Governor Greg Abbott called the alleged defunding a brazen disregard for safety, and Hidalgo's Republican opponent Alexandra Mealer said it is clear Hidalgo's administration has led an effort to constrain law enforcement during an unprecedented crime wave. With that, panel, I ask the question, what's your point? Tomorrow, Bell, let's start with you.
Methinks the lady does protest too much. Okay, the way you reacted showed you were guilty. You knew that you all had taken back any reserves that they had. When you take money from them and say you're going to use it to light up parks and put in grass and put in bike lanes, that's defunding the police, because the police need the money to get actual bodies to be able to go and respond when you have crime. Constable Eagleton was so underfunded, they couldn't even pay their basic bills. You all tried to, number one, in 2020, get rid of the constables that the people hire to protect their communities and replace them with sheriff's deputies, even though they are already lacking at the jail. You got problems at the jail. You got problems on the street. Why? Because you took the money from them. So don't sit up there and lie.
Holly Hansen, you've been doing some good reporting on this topic and others. What's your take?
Yeah, so I think what's in dispute here are these so-called rollover funds that you refer to as kind of a savings. And the misperception is that those are just sitting idly in some bank account somewhere. They are used sometimes after the fiscal year has ended. And the DA's office was there repeatedly at Commissioner's Court asking for these funds to be restored. There was a vote in April, a 4-0 vote to restore some funding to the DA's office, but taking them from ARPA funds, although they have not actually received any of those monies yet, as I verified with the DA's office last week. Again, there's no dispute that they took away these rollover funds, but the county seems to be arguing that those funds don't count. The constables are arguing that they need these funds. And if you do look at some of the increases in the year-over-year budget, they're very small for the constables' offices. And in the details, it says these are to cover increases in the health insurance for employees, as well as a slight cost of living increase. I think it was 1.2% in 2021. This is not allowing them to expand their coverage or combat the rise in crime. You see things that, for example, Constable Herman's office is doing in trying to expand coverage at soft targets such as schools and daycare centers. They need these resources.
All right, Chalwin, you heard it right there. Perhaps the county has slightly increased law enforcement funding, but has it been proportionate to the problem people are dealing with? They are afraid out there.
Look, defunding the police is a horrible slogan that somebody made up that's been attached to the Democratic Party and everybody aligned with it. No one's going to argue that public safety isn't paramount right now. But if you look at Heap and Constable Herman's budgets, it is true. Here are the facts. It's going up year after year. And the government, federal government downward, they've always participated in a use it or lose it. In fact, as Hidalgo has claimed, they've had up to a year to make this consideration. So the way I see it is the accountability rests with those constables to say, oh, wait, we've got to spend these dollars that are in our coffers. I've worked at a nonprofit. I know what it's like to get money from the federal government and the state government and use it or lose it, or it doesn't go in the bank. They are the CEOs of their department. It's their responsibility to use it. And then when Hager and Abbott come back and play a political game, look, Lena's got a couple of months before she's in a very, very dangerous situation with her reelection. So it's clear it's political pandering, but let's just make the facts what they are.
All right, Gary Pollan, you heard it there, political pandering, and they should have spent every nickel they had in their account. Your thoughts?
Well, that kind of fiscal actions is totally irresponsible, because then these federal government agencies throw money away at the end of the year for nothing. But let me make something pretty clear to Chow and our viewers. This use it or lose it idea, it doesn't apply to Lena Hidalgo, Rodney Ellis, or Adrian Garcia. Ellis has like 38 million he carried over. For some reason, it's good enough for the law enforcement, but not good enough for them. So when Lena protests, as made clear by Tamara, it's ridiculous. And by the way, our crime problem is out of control. The status quo does not cut it. We had 4 murders last night. FBI statistics from last spring indicate that we are 223.95% above the national average in violent crime. And the answer is to squeeze the budgets of the constables? I don't think so.
Final word to Marcus Davis, the wise one.
Yeah, so I need to jump on something that was said earlier. This idea, we want to talk about facts. Defund the police was a saying that came out of the revealing of so much corruption in policing across the country. It was not misguided. It was not misstated. It was stated, hey, these guys are showing bad behavior across the country, and we need to stop funding their bad behavior. Now, I can't say whether or not Lena did it or didn't, or the county did or didn't do it. I'm going to take my colleague's word, but my words are, so what? We didn't make the same crime. Yes, crime is rising, so we shouldn't be defunding it, right? But mental health issues are rising it too. But we're not talking about how much money Greg Abbott cut for mental health in the state. So if we're going to talk about it, let's be about it. And in the words of our Republican friends in D.C., it's okay to defund the police as long as it's the FBI, baby.